Hello again, and welcome back to another tutorial in repairing lenses or cameras and so. But this time I will tell you how you can actually clean the lens elements, both the front group and the back lens group, in AF Nikkor 50mm 1.4D. So this nice older lens, which is actually pretty good, it's a bit dusty inside, and there are some hair and stuff inside. So I would like to show you how you can actually clean it. Well, to do so, we need some tools. Tweezers, of course, pointy, flathead screwdriver, this is a 2.0mm, some dentist tool, which is always handy, especially the spade here, and they're very pointy ends, a crosshead screwdriver, this is a Phillips 00. It works as a JIS because I have filed the very pointy tip, so it works pretty good in that way. I know it's not a real JIS, but it works pretty good. We need some lens sucker, it's very handy, and this is from Japan Hobby Tool, and this is from a place called Nordson EFD, from the, I guess, nordson.com or something, and some sticky rubber. I use the rubber cone here, which is quite handy, from Japan Hobby Tool. I also made my own. This is a tube, a pipe something part, and some sticky rubber from a gasket or something, which I have put on, and it's a 44.3mm, so it works pretty good for some lenses. And we also need some of those lens repair rubber tools, which you can get on Amazon, and a lens spinner could be very handy. I have just used an old one, which I have filed and grind the tip, the end here, so it can be used for repairing lenses or cameras. We need some nail polish remover, which can be very handy. We need some cleaning solvent. I use both the lighter fluid, it could be Zippo or Extra or whatever name, is all the same that's inside as I see it. The Eclipse cleaning fluid is also very handy in some cases. A rubber blower is also very handy. Yeah, let's jump into it. Have a look first how it looks inside. But those, yeah, you can see it's actually very dirty, not that good. So, but let's see how it will go. I will begin to take off the front lens group by taking off the nameplate, and be sure the thread here, filter thread, is clean, because it can be annoying to or maybe difficult to take off the name ring. I will use my sticky rubber here, and it goes pretty easy off. Of course, I have been into this lens before, but not for cleaning the lens element. The front ring is made of metal, aluminium, and the front mount for the lenses is made of plastic. Now, I have taken off the nameplate, and now the front lens is loose. So I can just use my lens socket here, press it and then put it on, and then simply take off the lens element. You see the shape of it. This is the front and the flat side is the back. So I'll just put it on some of those lens working tubes made of rubber, some kind of a sticky rubber. I mean, not that sticky, but anyway. So I have a good stand that to work when I clean the lens element. Now, the front lens group is held in place by 3 screws. One, 2, 3. And before I take it out, I will just put a mark where the distance index is. So I have already put a mark here. Zoom out a little, it's better. So I can just put a mark here, so I know where it should sit. Well, I already make a scratch here in the plastic, so it's easy to know where it should sit when I assemble it again. Now, off with the 3 screws, nothing special. The screws have some kind of nail polish, or whatever it calls, but it works as it will prevent the lens, I mean the screw, from unscrewing itself. So off with the 3 screws, and now I can just take it out. So this is how it looks, and we can actually just close the aperture to not get, you can see how it works. So put it aside. Now this is the front lens group that is in this plastic piece, and there's no screws here. So how to come off with that? Well, I guess the the holes here is they have used some kind of threadlock or so when they assembled it to keep the lens from falling out. And but I will just clean the back side here, and for that I will use my stand here. It's easier to have it on. Now I also use some PEC-PADs, non-abrasive wipes, which is very good, and I can just take one out, see where it goes here. Can be sometimes annoying to take out. I also cut them in smaller size. Now I will use some lighter fluid to clean it with, and I'll just add it at the corners here. So, and simply just So now it looks really a lot much better. It's absolutely amazing. There's not really much in here, so I will just let's see if it's only dust or something. But it is, so there's no idea to clean that. So and then I will clean the very front lens. I will take the let's see, take the outside first, because then I'm sure the nothing happened with the front lens. I mean the inner back of the front. So I'll just clean this, the very front, and so, and it will help. No, there was some marks there. So it's much better. There's some marks here, but maybe I can take it away with the Eclipse. Let's see how it will go. I mean, sometimes it's not working with one solvent, so I will try another one. Or maybe sometimes I use isopropyl as alcohol. Well, it's getting better, but there's still something on. As you can see there, I think I know what it is. It's some Threadlocker that actually spread out of when it was stuck in the can. So we do it again. You will not damage the coating because the coating is extremely hard. Well, now it's really good. So the other side. And then I will also use my the lighter fluid for that. So, wow, it looks really good. But let's see how it looks. I mean, there's still a mark there. Come on, yeah. Well, there's some dust here. So, that's it. So I can simply put this lens back on my front. Just check there isn't any. Oh, it looks pretty good. There was something, or is it just on the back? It was something on the back. So and then we're done. Wow, that's good. Oh, there was some mark from the rubber tool. Then I can just do a little cleaning here from that spot. Yeah. So sometimes it can be a little annoying. So now it looks fine. I mean, compared to what it was. I mean, the front lens group is quite easy to clean, but the back lens, which I will enter in a... Wow, it looks pretty. I mean, it looks so much better. Well, there's some dust on the front here, doesn't really matter. So put it aside, and then we go to the back lens group. It's a bit more tricky because to access it you need to take off the mount. It will be so much easier. I mean, there is two notches here, one on each side, one there and one there. So I could actually use a lens spinner, but there is a flex cable in here, there's a circuit board in here that I need to take care of. So it's much better. I will just take off the mount. I mean, this lens is missing the round tube here. I don't know the name, but normally it sits on the back of autofocus lenses. But mine does not have that, because I actually get the lens because it has been dropped. So off with the I mean, if you should take off the tube here, there are 3 screws, one there, there and there, and 2 for the smaller screws for the contact. Do not touch this screw. It's a locking screw when you put the lens on the camera. So it's not necessary to take off. So off with the... Oh, come on. Off with the 2 screws here on the contact. There's no flex cable connector because it's a small lens. Now, so it's free at the moment. There are 3 screws around here, and take care of when you take off the mount that under the screwdriver for the focus there is a brass ring. Do not forget it. If the screws are too fast, or I mean too tight, you can use a just to show it, nail polish remover on a cotton bud, and it will do not use too much because the aperture ring is made of plastic. So just drop a 1 or 2 drops here on the head and let it suck into the screw head, under the screw head, on each screw, if they have used thread lockers. It's not the case in this lens. Now get off the 3 screws and take care of the parts inside, especially the flex cable here. They are very thin, so don't draw too much in it. Now off with the mount. Take good care when you lift it off, and also the screwdriver. So here you will see the brass ring here, and it should sit in here when you put things back in again. So it is. Now there are some parts in here we need to to look closer at. Of course, the aperture ring, and take good care of where it sits. I mean, just put the gear here. So, and this is how it looks inside. So when moving the aperture ring, I moved the cam over here, and then again push on the small pin here. It's attached to the aperture ring here, as you can see. And so it should look when you're done. Now set it to something 16 or so, and get off with this cam here. Just you can pull it here to to relax the tension on the cam, and then it's possible to lift out this. It can only sit in one position, one way. Now get the aperture ring off, and next we take out the gear. It can only sit in one way. So, and next I will take off the small spring, the blade, where did my screwdriver went? The small screws that hold the spring here for the aperture ring. Only 2 small screws, and so, and then, and before I just to mention, before I take it out, be sure how this is facing. Before I take it out, I have just set a mark here, there, and also here. So I'm sure, and it's just for showing you how it should sit. I mean, you could also set it the other way, but yeah, just to be sure how it's set. Now the next thing is the cam here that push on the aperture lever inside the aperture. There's a spring here on the back that need to be unhooked, and for that I will I will use a a tool that is for people who are making clothes, and it has a very tiny hook, and it's actually very good to unhook a spring, much better than the tweezer. This is 1mm, and it works pretty good. Now the this cam needs to come off, and it sits with one screw here, and I use my flathead screwdriver to unscrew it. There's no spacers or so in this one, so just keep a finger on it. So this is how it looks. Now the cam here also is held in place by this plate with 2 screws, and it also needs to be taken out, because you cannot move the back lens group if all those things are on. And also the circuit board need to come off. There's no need to take out the outer housing, but only see, this one sits there, and then this can be taken off. This pin is going straight into here. That moved the aperture plates. It should be something like that here. So now we are almost there, but I will set the lens to near end, which will be 0.45. So this is my starting point. I set a mark here, so I know where the lens is actually sitting correct. My distance mark in here, and I also set a mark here, so I know where things should sit when I put them back in. There are 2 pieces of metal hooks or something that prevent the lens assembly from moving around. There's one here, and there's one over here, and they can only sit in one position. This one can only sit here, and this one can only sit here. But just to prevent that anybody get confused about it, I set a mark here for 1 and 2, and just to be sure how it should sit, you can just set a mark here 2, and 1 over here, so you know where it should sit. Of course it's clear, because you cannot set them the opposite position. Now get those 2 off, and then we can actually take out the whole lens assembly. This one comes off here, and the other one. But before doing so, I also need to take off the circuit board here that is held in place by 2 screws here between the distance mark, just so you know it. So, and off with this one. because it's much easier to show you how it looks when the whole lens assembly is out of the body or the focus helicoid focus system. Now I can take off this here, and of course the spring here I need to take the tension off here, so, and then lift it out and it's free. Now just let the spring be there. It will not make any disturbing stuff. So this one can be taken out. Take care of the very fragile flex cable. So now I can take off the last piece of metal here, lever, and get the lens out. I mean, get the lens assembly out with the aperture blades and so. So when I take out this piece of metal, what you say, the inner assembly is free. So, but I would like to set it in a correct position. So if you see the flat surface here, and if you set a kind of a mark somewhere over here, so you know it should sit there when you are done. Now I can actually unscrew, unscrew the inner lens assembly. But I have my mark here, so I will know where this things, the inner system will come off, and it will turn, and it will still turning. Oh, keep a finger on the focus ring itself, and then turn the oh, there it comes off. And where it comes off, I have set a mark here where the gear is. One on the gear ring, and one here, and one on the hole here. I've already done it, but it's just so you know where it should sit. So it's not very much, you need to move it. It's from, have my mark there, and it's all the way over here when it comes off. And now it can come free. So this is how it looks. Put the focusing system away, because we do not need that right now. This is how it looks inside, and what I need to unscrew is actually the whole lens, back lens group assembly here. But it's held in place by Threadlocker to prevent it from loosening. Now there are two holes here. One hole is for actually the what you say, the middle element, lens element. And I think it's better to unscrew it just. This is made of plastic, and the back lens screw is metal. I mean, in my lens they have put on some kind of nail polish or lacquer or so on both sides, but you can just use a thin spade or thin screwdriver. Do not bend this too much. Oh, come on, focus. Do not bend this too much because it's made of plastic, but you can just push it a little there and on the other side to actually crack the nail polish or whatever they use. And now it should be quite easy to unscrew it. Well, I can use my my lens tool to get it free, and I could actually just hold it here and have a good grip, and then it should be possible to use my some of my cones here to put on the back here, and hopefully I can loosen it. But before doing so, I will just put it back again so it sits where it should before I unscrew it, because I don't know if there is a focusing distance, I mean micro adjustment thing, but I make a mark. I set a mark here on the plastic and on the metal tube here, and just to be sure, you could actually just set a mark here so it's in line when you before you take it out. Now I can just unscrew it. It should be quite easy. So, and you should end up where it is when you put things back in again. So just unscrew it. So this is how it looks, and it's therefore it it will be, I mean, you could, if you're lucky, get the back lens group off with a lens tool, but maybe if you do not get the back lens group off, then you need to disassemble the thing here. But it's also good to showing how it looks. Now, to disassemble it, I cannot take out the very back lens. I mean, I don't think, I haven't been into that. But there are two screws, I mean there are two holes here, which we need to soften the thread locker. So by using some nail polish remover or acetone or what you prefer, just use one of those and simply add a lot and let it suck into the holes. We need some more. And simply put into the holes and let it suck in. You have to use more than you expect. So I think it will be enough. So how to get that off? I mean, this the next lens element from the back. I use my rubber tool here and have a good grip on it and simply try to it would not work, so what to do? Well, I will simply use my my garden gloves, very sticky rubber, and you can get them in, you probably can get them in different hardware stores or garden centers, but it will just make it much easier. Then use the rubber tool here, put it on here, and then have a very good grip. And here it comes off. So now then we are in here, and this is how it looks. But this is one lens, and there is another retaining ring in here which we need to take off. And they have also used some Threadlocker, and of course again we need to add more of those this softener for the Threadlocker. Just add it here and let it suck in all the way around. So it is. And then use my lens tool. I need to adjust it a little so it can fit proper in here. Then have a good grip on it so you not scratch anything, and it's free. So oh, it looks like all lens element can come free. Maybe also this one. I'm not sure. No, it's put in and sit tight. So I can unscrew the retaining ring here. And then get it off. Now, remember how the lens element sits when they come out. So I will just put it in my hand and turn it over and out with a lens element. There's only one lens element that pops out, and it looks like this. So the curved side has to go in towards the back. And this one looks actually very fine. But let's see how it looks with a torch through it. Well, it's not that clean. Not at all. There are some dust. Difficult to see. Yeah, here you can see it. So, and how did the very back element actually looks? Hold on a second. We'll just put this on a piece of rubber that actually fit. So there, yeah, it's fine. So just put it on here. And this one could be fit there. Now, how does the very back lens actually looks. I mean, from outside there are some dust, as you can see here. Doesn't really look that good, but I will try to clean this first and see how it will go when doing the next lens element. Now, where did my lens tissue go? There, here. Come out. So. And how does it look when I add some lighter fluid? So off. Yeah, there's something on. Just do it again. Okay, yeah, there are some marks on it. I mean, it's not a new lens, so but how does it look? Yeah, you can see there is something on the inside of the lens. Yeah, you probably can see it. There's something. But and since I cannot take out the lens element, I will just clean it as it is. There, sitting there. So just using some here and see how this will work. Hope it will work. It's easy. It's not easy to clean lens element when they sit that way. But maybe if I doing so here. And let's see how it will go. Well, it helps. Yeah, it's getting better. Much better. So I will just put this aside and put the and clean the next lens element, or I mean almost the same way. Maybe I should try this, the Eclipse, just to see how it will go. Sometimes it works pretty good and sometimes not. I think it's interesting to find out what's actually working best. But it looks like it helps. Well, just use the lighter fluid. Oh gosh, can you sit there? Wow, it's just amazing. But there's still something on the other side. So give it another go. And hopefully it will. There's some hairs and stuff. So, and then I will just put it back into the mount here. Yeah. So, and of course there is a small hair that follow into it. Then the retaining ring, which I actually could use some thread lock of the softest, just a little on a on the thread. And then put the retaining ring in here. So now there's a little dirt on here which I need to take off. So it looks fine. Now just continue to screw it in. And can I use a... Yeah, I can use the rubber tool just a little, but it's too small, too big. It's not easy. But this one won't work. Well, I just use my lens tool, and then go there, just screw it in. So, and then we are almost there. So, and then it sits fine. Yeah, I mean, there are some marks on the back side here which I cannot do anything about, so well, so it is. Well, then it's time to the other lens. Where did it go? Okay, here. And it sits in a ring and cannot be taken out. Well, probably it can, but it's not necessary to do. Let's see how it looks. Oh, there are a lot of dirt in there on both sides. So let's see how it will go. There. So I think I will take the outside first. I mean the inside. where did it go? Some lens tissue and some solvent nail. I mean, this is lighter fluid. Wow, it really helps a lot. Now the other side, and it can be a little difficult because the ring around it is I think I need some small, very small cotton buds. You can actually get them on, I mean, I get those on in London. It's a shop called Muji, MUJI.net. As you probably can see here, they're very good and very tiny compared to the normal. So it is quite handy to use in some lenses. So let's see how it will go. No, there's still some fragment there. Yeah, sometimes you need to do it not only once but twice. So to getting things more economic, I simply cut those lens tissue in smaller parts, actually in 4 pieces, which is more easier to work with. I think you can buy them smaller, but this is just easier. So we give it another go. So and if I need to do it all the way around, maybe it's okay now. Yeah, there's still something on the edge, so I can just add a little at one corner, get it wet, and probably get all the way around. Yeah, wow, it looks really good, if you ask me. So I'm pretty happy with the result. And of course there are some where did that come from? There is a fragment on the back. I'm not sure what it is, but let's see if I can do something about it. Or I can just, I can just do it again. This will not fit. Where did it go? So, and then just try again, because there was something on. it really helped. Wow. Amazing how clear it is. I mean, I thought it was clear. There's something on here. So I can just clean it away with a little lens tissue. What's happened with this bloody bag? So, give it another go. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Fine. There's still something in there. Just a little, and I will just use a cotton bud and add a little of lighter fluid. To simply wipe away that there was something, but it's not there anymore. Yeah. So I can just screw this lens element back into the back lens mount. Put it in, and I mean there's still some thread lock on it, so there shouldn't be any problem with that. And then I add fingers on to the very back. And then tighten it. Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. It's not really bad. Looks really fine. So I can just put it back into the what do you say, the aperture system here, and there's something on here. So and how does it look? So, and then add this lens group into here. Click. And I should end up with the same position as it was. But you can see I screwed in a little too much. And just undo, unscrew it just a little. It's still tight. Wow! So here we go. Now screw it into the mark there. And then screw this lens So, and that I will end up with the same mark here. Yeah. So, and it's tight enough to not unscrew in this case. And so what next? Where did my blue mark go? I have the blue mark here. And take care when you work with the fragile flex cable, and then add this in to the focus assembly. Put it in here, turn it so the surface is here. Surface on the front here is flat. Then I can add my my hook, or whatever it calls, this one, because it should sit here. Oh gosh. Come out, little fellow. I mean, almost there. Hold on a second. So, it should sit like there. Then I can put the hook on. There it should sit. So, and two screws. Oh, do you mind, little fellow? So, here we are. So, and to better have this sit good, I will just add a little Threadlocker, just a tiny bit, not much. I mean, this is from the bottle that I couldn't get it out, so I just press and then it comes out slowly, but it works pretty good. There sits, and just take the other screw too. There. So, and now we are safe. So then I can just put in the flex cable, the focus system here. It will go that, let's see, like this. See, have to turn it over and it should sit there with the blue, I mean the index mark. And of course there are two screws. Where did they go? Let's see here. There's something wrong here. It's correct. I just thought there was something that was not correct into here, but everything is fine. So, and the other side of this hook, my tweezer. So this one sits there, and one screw, just a little thread lock. And so we are not that far away from there. Now let's see how the lens is working. Fine. And I can just tighten the screws here. So there, and yeah, now the spring has to sit correct, this one, and for this I will just use my tweezer here to pop it over there, and so it sits there. So, and now the small spring for the aperture click will come in. Okay, little fellow. So, there. And you see, I set the mark here, so I know where it should sit. There. Put in one screw, and everything is fine there. So it's therefore it is so important to just remember to set some kind of mark where things has sit before. So now we're almost there, and the focus is pretty good. Now this hook, I mean this lever, will go into the to the aperture here, and all the way over on the other side. So it will sit there. But we need to screw, and it should be easier to use a tweezer to put it on. Oh, I'm almost out of battery. Not good. Where is my... I have a flathead. Oh, shit. It was falling on my floor. So this screw goes in here. And you can just tighten it. And then my handy tool here to get the spring actually in good place. See, it's really much easier with this tool. Now this plate here, and it sits right there, and it will just prevent the lever from fooling around, and also from the cam over from blocking things. So it sits there, this one sits there, and where did it go? Here. And this cam will sit in here, so you can just push the aperture all the way over, put this on, and let it back again. But we need the aperture ring, and we also need the gear here to put on here. So the aperture ring comes on here, can just move it a little back forth, so it is, and everything is okay. On with this, and open the aperture full open, put this cam on there, and release it in a second. No, hold on, I need to have it put into correct place in the aperture ring, so it sits, come on, there. So this is how what it should look when it's working correct. So now I can just add my mount, bayonet, or whatever it calls, and remember the little brass ring, and just put it on here. Find the screwdriver thingy, so now we're almost there. So things sit where it should, and then 3 screws will go in. What's wrong here? So the screws go in here, and the last screw on the mount sits there, and the 2 small screws that hold the contact I know I add some mark, some fingerprint maybe, on the back of the lens, but it doesn't really matter. So this is, yeah, I think it will be fine. The cap on, the I need to take off the nameplate again to get my front lens group into place. So, and where did my mark go? It goes to the index here. So, and it sits there, and to the re-screws goes on. So we're almost there. So in little over 1 hour I have actually cleaned my lens. It could maybe be done faster. But this is how you could do. So on with the nameplate, and then we are done. Click. So, and off, and let's have a look how it looks. Well, I set some prints, fingerprints on the back, but if you look to it, it really looks much better than it was, as you probably can see. So I'm quite happy with this one. So that's all for now. So hope you can use the info in this video. So yeah, see you sooner for more repairs. Bye bye.